The crosses all, like I said, before the crosses started here, way back in 1990, two dreams came first before even receiving the crosses. The dreams came in October of 1990. The second one was maybe about the second week of October. Until finally, I would say in December, the 8th, is when the first cross actually appeared that night about 6 p.m. Through the window. I mean, you could see it through the window. On my first place, it was about 20 years that I lived there. Now, we've had the same window from 1978 up until at least 1990. You could never see anything out through that window. Until after those dreams, 20 years later, then the cross appeared after, I would say, the second dream, but it was on the 8th of December of when it actually appeared. So about 20 years. I looked out the window many a times. We all did. You never say anything. But it was the dreams first after that 20 years later. And after those dreams happened, then the crosses appeared. But in those dreams, God made a statement. He said that I was to be obedient, we were to look up, we were to watch, and we were to listen. And those I remember in that dream. Okay, that was the first little place where I lived. In the second place, we were going to buy a home. We bought a home in Ontario when I was married at the time, okay? What I was doing is just going through the house. We only seen maybe about 2 or 3 houses. And we were going through the house. And I liked it. You know, I mean, it was nice. It was a 4-bedroom home, 2 baths, swimming pool, the whole bit. Then, when I was going through the house, at the time when I was married, my husband, he kind of yelled at me. And he said, come here, you got to see something. So here I'm way at the end of the house, so I went, to the other end, and I said, what is it? And he says, look out that window. And when I looked out the window, the cross was already there waiting. And it was something because I remember a priest told me one time, when I was getting ready to move, I had gone to my pastor, and I asked him, I'm really afraid to move because then I won't probably see this again, And it's such a beautiful experience. And he says, you don't have to worry. He goes, because of your faith. He says, they'll follow you. Wherever you go, they're going to be there. And I remember him distinctly telling me that. So when I saw that there in that house, I told him, I says, we're buying this house. I told the realtor, and the realtor says, but you only seen 2 or 3. He says, I want to show you more. And I said, no. I said, this is where I'm to be. This is my next step where I feel I have to be. So we bought the house. The cross remained there the whole time. I didn't even have to put up my window of anything. It was just there waiting. So beautiful experiences happened in that home. There was miracles that took place in that home. I mean, we used to have people from everywhere that used to come down. We've had them from New York, Algeria, in just different countries that they would come. And we'd have busloads, and they would come. And I'll share this, that I can remember just this one thing on that house. It was Valentine's Day, and there was a busload of people that came with the pastor, okay, the priest, and they came a long way, and that bus was filled to the max. And so everybody came in, and they wanted to do the 3 o'clock prayer, which was the Divine Mercy. So somewhere in that room that I had dedicated to God, because I made that room strictly for heaven and himself, and people were like from the other end of the house, and that room was already packed, and along with Pastor. So people would see a certain picture, which I have now today, of one of the crosses, and it's the bigger one there. But the cars, when you really look at it, you could see it like it's dancing. It moves back and forth and it sways in the photo and inside that picture frame. And people were seeing that. They were seeing that actually, and I knew that it did because it happened, you know, way back. So people were saying we could see it, you know, we could see it. And then there was one lady, and she says, Joanna, I can't see it, I can't see it. And I would tell her, just keep praying, you know, you will see something, you will. So I went into my prayer so deeply, and I said, God, I go, there's so many people that are here today. I said, please bring a miracle, because this one woman that is standing beside me, she can't see anything. Please do something, because they come from so far. And so a few minutes later, okay, the room was all in white, beautiful white, okay? A few minutes later, the whole room turned to gold. Everything, the walls were gold, the statues and everything just turned to gold. The people were yelling, it's a miracle. My boy was standing like, Mama, Mama, what's happening? And I tell my little boy, don't be afraid. I go, God's doing something for everybody so they could see this miracle happen. And people were recording, and the priest was yelling out, it's a miracle, you know. And so I'm over here praying, thank you, God, for turning this whole room to gold, you know. So then and then there was like in that picture frame there was like the size of a host. Little circles like that little white were going around the picture frame, and we could see it. Then a few minutes after that, then few minutes later, then everything went back to normal. The walls turned white, the statues went to its natural color, everything went to its natural color. And people were just like crying, they were praying, they were slain in the spirit. I mean, people were recording what happened. I mean, it was just a beautiful thing to remember there in that house that he did for everybody.